Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. The time is now 7:01 p.m. and we will be beginning our regularly scheduled City Council meeting. Before we do so, we have three public hearings that are on the agenda that need to be completed first before we start the council meeting. The first public hearing is going to be for community input on a CDBG block grant to obtain the views of citizens on community economic development and housing needs to be considered for submission of an application to the Maryland Community Development Block Grant Program. And before we open up to the public, if anyone actually is here to speak, wanted to hand off something to Dr. Ritchie. He has a statement he needs to read in the record.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, colleagues, citizens. So, as the Mayor said, in order to apply for this grant, there are certain pieces of information that have to be read into the record during the public hearing. So the state has received $7,416,560 for the state fiscal year 2026, and then funds will be used as follows. And specifically, we're looking at the community development section of that budget, and it says 82% minus $1,000 in the total, or minus $100,000, and the total value of that area of the state's budget is $6 million. The primary objectives of the Maryland CDBG program are to develop viable community funding activities that result in decent housing, improved and expanded infrastructure, access to facilities, and to meet the critical needs of Maryland's communities. Projects must perform at least one of the following: give maximum feasible priority to activities that will benefit low and moderate income LMI persons and households, aid in the prevention or elimination of slums or blight, or meet community needs that are of an urgent nature or an immediate threat to community health and welfare. There's a whole list of eligible activities, but specifically the activities that are related to the grant that we're pursuing are items B and C. B is acquisition, concentration, reconstruction, or installation of public works facilities, and C is code enforcement in deteriorating areas. And then the proposed projects under consideration by the City of Havre de Grace, they are outlined in the draft proposal document in the resolution or the documents that are in front of the City Council tonight. And the total project cost will be $156,336. $27,944 of that. No, I apologize. Sorry, the grant we're pursuing is for $156,336. In addition to that, the city is going to match via cash and in-kind services $27,944 for a total project cost of $184,290. And that concludes the comments I need to read, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Dr. Ritchie. So this is a requirement, this public hearing is a requirement for the grant, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, in order to apply for the grant, we have to not only read what I just read, we have to have a public hearing, and we also have to have the resolution that's coming before council later this evening. That's all required in order for us to actually apply for this grant.
Okay, thank you very much. So in compliance of this community development block grant, did anybody come here tonight to speak on this? Yes, ma'am. Good evening. Welcome to the public hearing. May I please have your name and address for the record?
Carrie Parson at Seago Street here in Havre de Grace.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. This grant not only is going to support the Somerset Manor, it supports all of our citizens here in Havre de Grace. As a disabled veteran, I try to walk every day, and that is one of my areas of walking. And I cannot walk safely through that area at all. And we have individuals that are in wheelchairs and they cannot use the sidewalks because of their deterioration, not having ADA ramps. I greatly appreciate Wanda, the rest of the administration, sir, for taking time to put this request of this grant through, and I am hoping that it is approved and we're able to improve the lives of the residents up there and also the rest of the citizens that use the area for walking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Parsons. Any other citizen in the audience this evening here to speak on this block grant funding? Any comments from council members? Okay, very good. Without any further comment, we will now close public hearing on the CDBG block grant public hearing. The time is 7:07. The next public hearing is going to be on ordinance 1206 concerning approving budget amendment 2026-01 to carry forward fiscal year 25 capital projects. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace by the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government of the Annotated Code of Maryland, the Sections 37 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, for the purpose of amending the city budget for fiscal year 2026 to address the reallocations of funds for the city of Havre de Grace for fiscal year 2026. This is ordinance 1206. It had a first reading at the previous council meeting, and now it is a public hearing. Is anybody here this evening to speak on ordinance 1206? Any comments from council? Okay, without any public comments from the public or council, I now close public hearing on ordinance 1206. The time is 7:08. The final public hearing ordinance will be on ordinance 1207. Ordinance 1207 had a first reading at the previous council meeting. Tonight is the public hearing. And it's also concerning approving budget amendment 2026-02 for grant funding. It's an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace by the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Section 37 of the Havre de Grace City Charter for the purpose of amending the city budget for fiscal year 2026 to address additional allocation of funds for the city of Havre de Grace for fiscal year 2026. Anybody in the audience this evening here to speak on ordinance 1207? Yes, sir. Good evening and welcome, sir. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Good evening, Mayor. Kirk Smith, Otsego Street, Havre de Grace, Maryland. I have some technical questions. Well, maybe not technical. For the Celebrate digital collection system that works on Mac and Windows PCs. This sounds like it's a grant, but there is a yearly license requirement for the Celebrate digital collection systems that have been taken into account. Something you should consider is checking into that and making sure that we have the funding necessary. I know a group that I work for uses this for certain things that they do, and there is a license that has a key that has to be installed yearly for them or annually. That's all.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other citizen in the audience this evening here to speak on 1207? Any comments from council? Okay. Any further comment from the public or the council? I now close public hearing on ordinance 1207. The time is 7:11. And with that said, let's start the council meeting. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The time is now 7:11. The date is October 6, 2025. I'll call the roll of the City Council. Council President.
Here.
Councilmember Boyer.
Here.
Councilmember Shenegas.
Here.
Councilmember Boker.
Here.
Councilmember Jones.
Here.
Councilmember Ellis.
Present.
Everyone, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and the opening prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If I could ask everyone to kindly remain standing for a few more moments, as it always gives me great pleasure to welcome Robin Stokes of Ames United Methodist Church.
Good evening,
Welcome, Mrs.
everyone.
Stokes. It's nice to see you again so soon.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. You know, I know it's late in the day, but Paul the apostle said that we should pray without ceasing. So let us pray. As always, we come to say thank you. Thank you for your unconditional love that gives us strength and the wisdom we've gained from serving you. Lord, you have brought us from a season of long, warm days, outdoor activities, and vacations into a season of transformation, a season of change, a time to grow, a time to let go, and a time to be renewed. We are grateful, Lord. Let this fall harvest season remind us of your abundance, and let the early sunset remind us to slow down and reflect on your goodness to hear from you. Help us to trust in your steady hand and find your peace in our current world situation, that we never lose faith. You said in your word that you would never leave us or forsake us. We are grateful for the crisp, cool temperatures, the family gatherings, the holiday celebrations, but let us always be mindful of our brothers and sisters whose harvest isn't plenty, whose jobs have been terminated, whose crops have been wasted, for those whose homes are on the street, and for the children that hunger, that we freely give from the abundance you have given us, Lord, because you have commanded us to love our neighbors as you have loved us. Let us not become tired in doing good, for you said we will reap the harvest if we do not give up. Allow us to wake in newness, pursuing your righteousness that keeps us moving forward with hope and trust in your promises, now and always. Amen.
Ms. Stokes, thank you very much for your words.
I think I just flashed my gun to everybody.
We'll move to item number 5, approval of the minutes, City Council meeting minutes of September 15, 2025. Council will have a motion to approve.
So moved. Second?
Motion by Councilmember Jones, second by Councilmember Schnagus. Questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. City Council meeting minutes of September 15, 2025 are approved 6-0 in the affirmative. We will now go to item number 6, citizens from comments. This is the part of the City Council meeting. If you're here to speak on an agenda item, now's the time to do so. But also, if you're here to speak on any other matter of business, now's the time to do so as well. So citizens have a choice. They can go online and fill out a form. They can fill out a form at the door. Or when I'm done reading those forms first, I'll just call on the audience at large, and at that point, just raise your hand, be recognized. You come up and to the podium and speak. So I'll start. I do have a handful of filled out forms, and I will start with those first. I'd like to call forward Sabrina Zanino. Good evening and welcome, and may we please have your name and address for record.
Sabrina Zanino, 452 Franklin Street. Mayor, City Council members, I am here to give a quick rundown of the Mother's Day Market we're planning for next year. It'll be our third one. Our Mother's Day Market is more than just a shopping event. It's a true celebration of community that brings energy, foot traffic, and new customers into downtown Havre de Grace. By gathering local makers, artisans, and small businesses all in one place, we create an exciting destination that draws both residents and visitors into town. The ripple effect is powerful. Guests who come to shop the market don't just stop there. They explore the boutiques, restaurants, coffee shops, and the waterfront that makes Havre de Grace so special. This event introduces people to businesses that may not have visited before and reminds locals of all the treasures right here in our small hometown. Beyond the immediate economic boost, the Mother's Day Market strengthens our identity as a vibrant, welcoming community. It showcases the talent and creativity of local vendors, supports entrepreneurs, and adds to the charm and vitality that keeps Havre de Grace a beloved destination. Simply put, this market helps our small town thrive. It's an investment into our businesses, our community spirit, and our future growth. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to call forward Dr. Nigel Black. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the meeting. May we please have your name and address for the record?
Good evening, Mayor. Hello, esteemed council. My name is Dr. Nigel Black. Harford Family House is what I'm here on behalf of, 53 North Bel Air Avenue, Aberdeen.
Welcome, sir.
Welcome. Thank you so much. Harford Family House is the largest direct service provider for folks experiencing homelessness in Harford County. We have emergency housing, transitional housing, permanent supportive housing, and Ready by 21, which means that kids who are timing out of foster care can come to us and be under our care until they're 21. We are currently expanding our operations, and particularly in Bell Camp. And with that said, we have a great need for funding. That has driven us to look to the Star Center to have some fundraiser events there because we can accommodate more people. I'm here on behalf of my organization asking and petitioning this council for two quick things. We're going to have an event on January 31st coming up here, and with that said, there is a 10% fee for non-Havre de Grace nonprofits, and we're just asking humbly if that could be waived. I was told to come and petition the council on behalf of that request. And then secondly, I believe the contract also states that we would need to use Eventbrite, and we would hope to be able to use our own ticketing service that we have. So that's what I came for. I don't know if anyone has anything they could ask me for clarification on, but that's what I had.
Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you. So Harford Family House, I'm very familiar with it. You work closely with a lot of the churches in the area as well?
Yes, we do.
What churches in Havre de Grace do you work with?
I have been at Harford Family House for 3 months now, so
Okay.
I will plead a little bit of ignorance, but we do work with about 140 churches.
Throughout Harford County?
Throughout Harford County. And I could be glad
You
to
provide us
tomorrow.
probably with a list of
Yes.
Harford County, or of Havre de Grace churches that you work directly with?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so, okay, well, appreciate you coming to the council meeting, and, well, first of all, thank you for choosing the Star Center to hold the event.
Absolutely.
And normally what we'll do is council will take up in a committee, we'll talk to the Director of Administration, Director of Administration will be back in touch with you regarding your request.
I thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
What's the event? What's the event?
I'd like to call forward Mr. Bob Schwartz. Good evening, Mr. Schwartz.
Bob Schwartz, 211 Mallard Court.
Okay, good.
My concerns here today are, I live in Bayview Estates. In Bayview Estates, there is an open space. It's just an undeveloped piece of land. The HOA board has come in and decided in their infinite wisdom they want to turn this into a town square, playground, community park, and just some, just some full-blown community center, whatever they want to call it. And a lot of people in the community are opposed to it. So there are a lot of decisions made by the city as far as permitting and code-related decisions. So that's what I want to go through with you tonight, just real quick. We did submit an appeal to the building permit that was submitted. Unfortunately, though, the permit was issued anyway. So with that, I'm just going to run through this stuff. But there is like a 45-page appeal on record with you guys. So this just touches on a few of those items. So first thing, well, the second page, the first page is the plat. The second one is the important factors of the plat. Right now, that piece of land, per the city of Havre de Grace and Harford County, it is permanently set aside for private use and will not be developed. So there is a building permit that you guys have issued for it to be developed. Alongside of it, non-tidal wetlands, the other side are private residences, and there's a public right-of-way from the street leading up to it. As you can see, the next page, just for reference purposes, from the board, you know, they're saying that this is going to be a focal community point of the Bayview Community Square, and they're going to put in seating and playground equipment, and all kinds of stuff that, again, a lot of us don't really want, especially those of us who surround it, who really didn't buy into have a full-blown playground right behind our house. So this, by code definition, the playground is a structure, okay? Code definition is anything constructed, the use of which requires a permanent location on the ground, requires a building permit. So building permit equals development. Piece of land that can't be developed, it's going to be developed. The building permit applied for was done so under false pretense because it was an accessory structure. An accessory structure is detached from the principal building. There is no existing building, so it can't be an accessory structure. The description is replacement of community playground equipment. There is no community playground equipment in there to replace. There was a small jungle gym a little while back. The board ripped it out for some reason. I don't know why. Couldn't tell you. The next one, Board of Appeals, this is a little bit touchy. We did petition on September 24th to protest the permit. It was not issued at that point. Of your code, section 2516A1 says the filing of the petition shall stay all proceedings in furtherance of the action. Last Friday, October 3rd, we found out that the permit was issued, so there was no stay. Okay, so again, you guys issued a permit for development of a piece of land that for 35 years is not able to be developed. Right next to it is a non-tidal wetland, you know, with a stormwater management facility right next to that. You also, the other thing too is assignment of an address by the city. They requested an address assignment. We're not sure, it's just an open piece of, well, I know why. It was granted to them. The street address, when you apply for street address in Harford County, and I think the city too, it needs to be approved for development and assigned as part of a building permit process. It's not here just as a standalone request. They're using it as a straw address, just to satisfy their insurance needs to give the playground an address. They have no intentions on putting the numbers or doing anything that's required by code. It's just going to be, like I said, just a straw address. And they're saying it's because of emergency responders. It'll just be more confusing than anything else because it's 201 Mallard Court. They're not going to put any addresses or anything up. It's just, I don't know, there's no place to go. And if you put in 201 Mallard Court, it's going to take you to the street, to the intersection. Oh, I'm sorry. We done? Am I finished?
Mr. Schwartz, go on for like another minute. I mean, I know this is important to you and your neighbors, so you got a grievance, so go ahead and let it out.
So the emergency responders, you know, again, if you put it in your GPS, you're going to the intersection of Mallard and Havre, okay, in the middle of the street. So there's no advantage to giving them an address for emergency responders. So the question here is, you know, my question that I don't expect to be answered now, but, you know, rhetorical is why did the city assign them an address, okay? And if the city, they gave them the address, are you going to require the HOA board to be code compliant now? Are you going to make them come in and put the road in, but it can't be a road put in because it's a right-of-way? Have it numbered and, you know, all that stuff. The issuance of the permit, is the city going to require them to conform to all of the code requirements, Harford County, City of Havre, Grace, Maryland non-tidal Wetlands Protection Act, because it's right there. In that, are you going to have them maintain the buffer zone? Harford County says 75-foot buffer zone between non-tidal wetlands and any type of development, and that, I believe, is why it couldn't be developed. Just other buffer yards that are supposed to be there between the houses, you know, residents, and now they're developing on it. They're going to excavate it. They got to put footers in, all that stuff. So are you going to make them do their soil studies, MDE permits, there's size restrictions, there's lighting restrictions, there's noise prohibitions, traffic impact safety. You know, I mean, they're looking to turn this thing into some full-blown, you know, a mini Ripken Stadium or something on a piece of land size of a postage stamp, you know? Also, as far as public health and safety, the lot was, when it was built 35 years ago, it was a disposal site for tree stumps, debris, and other organic material. There's a lot of drainage issues there now, especially since they pulled all the other equipment out, you know, which now is really open for, you know, some deadly sinkholes, because that's really where they thrive. So there's drainage issues. Safety standards, U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission Public Safety Handbook. It's the most widely used standard among playground equipment manufacturers and designers. Has all kinds of things in it, but the HOA board has opted not to comply because it will be too cost prohibitive, okay? ADA requirements, this is kind of personal to me because I have a son with special needs. This new community square is a public accommodation. They're telling you that it is a private piece of land, which is correct, but it is not under lock and key. It is.
Mr. Schwartz, Mr. Schwartz, you've gone on. We have the paper. I just want to say that, if I can respond.
Okay.
The process you're taking is actually the correct process by going through the Board of Appeals.
Right.
We do appreciate that. I live in Bayview, in Bryan Garth. I've been getting blown up on this. I have a friend for 30 years. His mom just like led into me the other night because apparently last meeting I blocked a permit for this tot lot, and I don't remember anything of it. We can't block any permits. Everybody on Facebook land, we don't block. So all the use and occupancy permits and the building permits are all handled administratively through Department of Planning. The council doesn't do that. We don't block permits and stuff like that. There was an issue where they came and spoke on the new sign and the painting of the curb. And like I told the director before, I said, you just go through the city and apply that way. But, you know, the way you're handling it now, by going through the appeals process, in case we did make mistakes on the actual process, that's the correct way to handle it. And we do have the packet, but we thank you for your comments. We really do.
And, you know, and I mean, the overall scope of it is that we are doing everything according to code to not have this done. As far as I'm concerned, the city and the HOA are not doing anything by code. So, you know, and they're doing under false pretense. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Schwartz.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mr. Shishak, is there anything, I know we were aware of the file for the Board of Appeals, but the city issued a permit. Is there anything you can say based on the reason why we issued it?
In order to appeal an action to the Board of Appeals, there needs to be an administrative action. So the appeal was premature in the sense that all that had happened was that an application was submitted to the city. Our code does not allow people to appeal the submission of applications. It allows the appeal of administrative decision, and because nothing had happened yet, there was no way to submit the appeal to Board of Appeals. Now that the permit has been issued, now you have an administrative action that you can appeal from. So if you contact the city administration, we'll work with you on how to get that better worded.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shishak. Sure.
I believe at one point in time there was, the curb was painted, but it was painted incorrectly, correct?
My understanding about the curb, and I could be wrong, but it was painted by the HOA itself and not by the city. The city council and the administration never approved the painting of the curb any color, so they were asked to take the color off. That's my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
What
I
are we
call
hearing?
forward Mr. Kirk Smith. Welcome back to the podium, Mr. Smith. We have your name and address on file.
Thank you so much, Mayor. First off, I'd like to thank planning for doing our permit so fast for our solar installation. It'll be happening at our place down on Otsego. Well done, thank you. Trust me, it's I went over it with a fine-tooth comb. Electrically, it's sat. Structurally, it's incredible, and mostly it'll be hidden from view from anybody driving, so it won't be a distraction to anybody, which is great for prepping, by the way. However, I'm up here tonight because, unlike last year, it seems to me that we are not encouraging, or we're not looking underneath 11B for the state to continue working with solar and wind and alternative energy packages. And I have I'm not saying that's good or bad, it's not in the write-up anyways, and I'd like to encourage the city to continue to push the state and local legislatures that we are beholden, or that are beholding to us and you all, to continue with it on that line. And I want to bring up something that Europe calls balcony solar, which is now a law in Utah that allows residents to actually do plug and play with solar panels at their house as long as they're on a dedicated line. This is Utah House Bill 340 called Solar Power Amendments. Or some other states like Vermont, Pennsylvania, and New Hampshire are calling it plug and play solar. I prefer to think of it as plug and don't pay solar. You might appreciate that little bit of difference, but this is Maryland, we do obey. Okay, 20 amp line in a house is typically going to be 12 AUG. You're not going to want to use 14 AUG for that because line can heat up, cause a fire. 15 amp AUG line is, a 15 amp line is 14 AUG. How does that equate to you though? Power's 120 volts. Power's as easy
Mr.
as...
Smith, if you give me a moment, if I can ask the gentleman playing with your phone, if you could take it out in the hallway. It's very distracting.
I'm really focused, so
Right
it wasn't
behind you.
distracting,
Okay, go ahead.
Council President, but thank you so much. It did break my tender, but okay. So power's easy as pie. As a former electronics instructor, it's one of the first formulas that we teach electronics and electrical engineers or technicians going through Navy Basic Electricity and Electronics School. You want to know your watts, you take your voltage, you multiply it by your current. That's what you get. A standard 400 watt panel will give you 450 kilowatts annually in Havre de Grace at this latitude. If we were down in Phoenix, that's an entirely different matter. It'd be like almost twice as much, but that's beside the point. That's a savings, if you have 3 panels, of approximately $270 annually. The total cost for a plug-and-play solar kit, the basic, which is the 1,200 watt solar, is about...
Don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you so much. Is gonna run you about $1,045, so your ROE or payoff is gonna be just under 4 years. Now imagine if we had this 1,200 watts of solar at peak time, because that's when solar hits, right when the peak is, so it's the most costly. So you're talking 27 or 20 cents a kilowatt. That's about to go up another 6%, so you can do the math. And if we had 1,000 houses putting 1,200 watts into their houses, okay, right to their circuit breaker panel, that's 120 kilowatts, if my mental math is right here at this point, or 1.2 megawatts. And we could do that right here in Havre de Grace. If the apocalypse happens, if we have this, everybody's pretty much covered here. We won't even, well, hopefully it won't ever affect the dam. Anyways, thank you so much. I'd like you to consider making sure that, you know, Havre de Grace stays on the solar wind map. We've already got the county to change their stuff. I appreciate them adding the microinverter wind inverters. And I know I had some help from some of you up there, so thank you very much. And yeah, if you have any questions, I know I tagged you all. I've not got the PowerPoint together, but this is all my notes that are going into the PowerPoint, which will have all the graphs and displays, the charts that show the linear and bell-shaped curves. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Mr. Ellis, or Councilmember Ellis, do you have a question? You sure? Thanks. Thank you all so much for giving me a little bit more of your time tonight. This is important to me. I think it should be important to everybody.
Who cares? I call for Dalen Louderback.
How are y'all?
Hey, how you doing? Welcome. Maybe please have your name and address for the record.
It's Dalen Louderback, Murgatroyd Road, Falston, Maryland. And
Welcome.
I appreciate it. I'm just coming here. I've been made aware that Havre de Grace might potentially have in plans for a skateboard park eventually. I know success of Aberdeen have sort of spurred some interest, and we got Hazelwood down in Baltimore County and Glasgow up in Delaware. And I bring up Glasgow for the purpose of part of why I'm here is I don't have any credentials other than I grew up skateboarding at Old Edgewood Bowl years ago, and it led me to skating all around the country. And I've been good, bad, ugly, and wonderful skateboard parks, and I just would like to kind of add my 2 cents into trying to save everyone, if there is going to be a skateboard park, trying to save everyone as much money as possible and not sinking their money into, taxpayer money, into something that would not be utilized, would be in need of repairs all the time, you know, flooding issues. Glasgow has built under the water table. I don't know how they ever did that, but if something goes forward, trying to sort of lend my, I wouldn't call it expertise, but my opinion that is based on experience into designing, helping to, you know, incorporate, you know, something that would be beneficial for like kids of all ages, including, you know, guys my age and little ones, and, you know, trying to kind of, you know, there's all sorts of positive aspects of skateboard parks. We're all, you know, kind of coming to that conclusion, but like for something that would be, I think could be really done in a Havre de Grace sort of way. You have the water, you have sort of, you know, the unique thing that makes this town. It could be incorporated into a skateboard park as well. That's just, you know, sort of like my, you know, artistic sense about it. So that's pretty much all. The only other thing I would just suggest is if something goes through, there's a gentleman I was really good friends with that grew up in Havre de Grace, passed away several years ago, but he was kind of a local legend back in the 70s, way back in the dinosaur clay wheels, you know, Pat Maphis. And if we ever get something done, it would be awesome to have like maybe a little memorial plaque to honor Pat. It would just mean the world to everybody. So.
I've heard the name.
Yeah.
I agree. So last fall, a gentleman came to meet with myself and my staff and pitched the idea of a skate park, and it's something that we've been thinking about for a while. Be honest with you, we've been so busy with the downtown projects and a lot of infrastructure lately, water and sewer, that we're literally just talking about, and I know the council felt the same way because a lot of council members have been talking about more things for kids to do.
Sure.
We were like, you know, let's start investing back into, like, you know, kids again in the community. And so we're in earnest. We want to do a skate park.
That'd be awesome.
We did fund $30-some thousand in our budget for engineering design, but we became aware recently that there's grant funding out there to pay for that engineer design.
Sure.
So we might hold it off by a couple months, but it'd be a lot better to get grant money than use Havre de Grace money. But anyway, long story short, I'm well aware by talking to a lot of people in the skateboard community, and I'm not a skateboarder, I'm an ice skater, but anyway. But I'm well aware talking to people in the skateboard community that there are so many nuances of what makes a good park and a bad park.
100%.
And so we won't, I can promise you right now, when the engineering study goes through, design study, and, you know, we obviously need some partnership with some kind of state funding or community block development grant. This is a heavy lift. You know, we're going to do the all call for everyone in the skateboard community to get together, because we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got it. I want it to be, because we're Havre de Grace, and Havre de Grace always wants to be the best.
Absolutely.
I want it to be the best skate park.
I love it.
Not just some, you know, some government bureaucratic hack, you know, threw this together. And
100%.
It sucks and nobody ever goes there. Yeah. So when we get to that stage, I can promise you, we're going to do an all call for everybody to get together, and let's put together the best skateboard park, you know, anywhere in the region.
I love it.
So, but yeah, right now we're petitioning grant funds for design studies. So,
awesome.
You know, but anyway,
I appreciate it.
yeah, it's a thing, and I know the council wants it, and
cool.
You know, and I know the citizens want it, and it's about time we do something pretty cool for the kids
Music
around
to
here.
my
So
ears.
that's where we're at right now. So just stay tuned and
Yeah.
you know, keep, you know, texting us every couple months, see where we're at, and we're gonna do the all call pretty soon, all right?
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
You betcha. Thank you for your time. I got one more form, sir. Hold on. I'd like to call forward Mr. Fred Brown. Welcome, Mr. Brown.
How are you? So I just wanted to thank Chris Ricci, Mr. Boker, for being in contact with us about the skate park. I'm just following up. You guys pretty much answered everything I had, speaking to Dalen. You know, we just basically just wanted to come and express that, you know, we hoped you guys would involve the skate community in the skate park, you know, before it's built. Bel Air, years ago, said they were going to build a skate park, had big plans, everyone was excited, and then they ended up getting some like prefab stuff that nobody uses, you know. I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with skateboarding, but there's a lot of different types of skaters. You know, there's guys that skate bowls, there's guys that skate street, you know, so trying to incorporate that all into one thing is a big thing, but yeah, that's all I had. I appreciate you guys, you know, keeping us in contact, in the loop with everything.
Sure. All right, thank you. Okay, that is all my pre-filled forms. At this time, we're still under citizen comment. And if you want to speak, please raise your hand and be recognized. Yes, sir.
I did sign.
Welcome to the city council meeting. May you please have your name and address for the record?
Yes, sir. John Lee,
Okay, welcome, sir.
505 Congress Avenue, here in the city of Havre Grace. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and city council members. Reluctant to come here tonight. 23 years ago, I approached this council with the Honorable David Mayor. Mayor was David Craig. And I fought for the colored school that's now a colored museum at the corner of Alliance and Stoke Street. I fought 2 years to keep that school alive. I came to this council, and the council supported me, and Mayor Craig supported me, was at the rally. But I'm here for a different reason tonight. Unfortunately, I've been a resident of Havre Grace for 65 years. More importantly, a resident of Harford County for 82 years. Just turned 82 this year. And I'm really reluctant to speak tonight because it's a subject that I don't want to address, but I have to. It's discrimination, racism, and bigotry here in the city of Havre Grace. More a certainty, I want to say, in the HUD facility, Housing Urban Development. More perfectly, St. John's Towers, where I reside, 505 Congress Avenue, apartment 506. I've been under severe pressure from the tenants there. Unfortunately, I made a comment. You know me, Dave. I'm sorry, I said David, but Mayor Craig, you've supported me at the Tabernacle, and not Mayor Craig, but Mayor Martin. You know me. You've been there. You presented proclamations at my church. I've been there 65 years. I've been in this city. I have no desire to blow up no building here. Mayor, I'm not going to blow up your city. But I've been accused to blow up St. John's Towers. I made a statement which I shouldn't have. I admitted to it. But in 1919, the Supreme Court case, Senate versus Justice Oliver Holmes, Wendell Holmes, based as a hypothetical example to explain limits of freedom of speech. Not to describe a real event. The analogy was rooted in the reality of past incidents where false cries of fire in a crowded theater was made, which caused a panic. And the Italian Hall, 1913, killing 73 people. As an example, I made a statement that I was going to blow up St. John's Tower. Not literally blow it up, Mayor. I'm not going to blow up no St. John's Tower. But it was an example of having HUD, Housing, Urban and Development, the government come in and explore and see what's going on there. The discrimination, the bias, and the racism. I've been called everything. I only been there 5 months. I'm a new kid on the block. I lived 50 years in Battery Village. My wife died, my 2 daughters and my son. I came to St. John's Towers, was accepted May 3rd, April of this year. I came there to live peacefully, live out my life in tranquility. But I've been harassed. I've been called everything but a child of God. Cursed out. Called 25 MFs and the word nigger. I hate to use that, Mayor, at your meeting tonight, but that's what I was called. I've been persecuted. More certainly, I got an eviction notice. They're trying to get me out of there. But I'm not going out without a fight. I went to HUD last Monday, caught the bus 4:30 in the morning. I'm 82 years old. I caught the bus. Unfortunately, Trump shut the government down, and I couldn't get in there. I was going to plead with the HUD people to give me a stay of execution until my lease expires in April. Yes. How can the city help me?
This isn't a council issue, it's a private issue with
Yes, but I want to say to the city tonight, I want to make my plea, because there's a gentleman that's going around. I have it here on my phone. I won't prolong the time, but he's calling me a terrorist. He's spreading the word around I'm a terrorist. Mr. Mayor, David Craig and council members, I have no desire to blow up St. John's Towers or any building here in city of Havre Grace or Harford County or anywhere. We're past our time, and see, that's
not much to do at all with the council.
but I want to let the council know.
Okay, we know now. We know now. We do know now. You've told us.
Because it's going to get bigger than this.
Okay.
I'm bringing a suit of defamation of character, and I'm
Against St. John's?
Huh?
Against St. John's?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But the city of Havre Grace is where I reside. Mm-hmm. I was a citizen taxpayer for 65 years. 50 years in Battery Village, 10 years on Locust Road, and now I'm in St. John. I've never caused. I had some spat with the Havre Grace Police Department, but that's all been washed over.
Well, Mr. Lee, we need to wrap this up.
Okay.
We're past the 3-minute time period.
That's my plea, sir. That's the problem. Nobody wants to hear me out, but I'm going to the court tomorrow morning.
Okay, well, we don't mind hearing you out, but you need to find the proper forum to do it.
It's not the proper forum?
To speak about a private matter that has nothing to do with city council, I
It
would argue that it's not.
City of Havre Grace. It has to do with me blowing up St. John Tower, 505 Congress Avenue.
Well, we can speak with the police department about that if you like.
Well, they have the report.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We're still under citizen comment, item 6 on the agenda. This is for comment for agenda items or any matter of city business. If you wish to address council, please raise your hand and be recognized. Yes, ma'am. Good evening and welcome to the city council meeting.
Hi. He left his glasses here, I think. Somebody. My name is Cindy Height, and I'm representing the 62nd Havre Grace Art Show, which is going to be October 18th and 19th. we are celebrating Arts and Humanities Month. We've been around for 62 years. We're the oldest event in Harford County and actually the region, except for Independence Day celebrations. I have some new and exciting news. The show is the 18th and 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Concord Point and Tidings Parks. We're going to have some new things going on. We're going to have a live wood carving in Concord Point Park both days. And we're going to have a pop-up coffee talk for an author that grew up here. She went to Havre Grace High School. She went to Towson State. She became a newscaster in Florida. She became producer of morning news in New York City. And she retired and wrote a book. She wrote a book about her father that's co-authored. Her name is Elaine Hume Peak. She will be there Sunday. Well, she'll be there all weekend, but she'll be there Sunday at 8 a.m. starting. The coffee will be served at 8 a.m. and she'll start speaking at 8:30. She's written a book, The Kaboom Boys. Her father was the captain of an ordnance squad in Normandy, World War II. And he was trained at Aberdeen Proving Ground. He came back after what happened in Normandy. They defused bombs. That was what the squad did. It's very exciting because this is the first of a series of 4. This book has already hit the lights in Penn Station in New York City. So Amazon has chosen to put it up in lights. And she has chosen Havre Grace Art Show to do her debut talk. So she'll be there with her book, and I brought a book to give you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Cindy. Give it to the history teacher, of course.
And we're also going to have a park full of very talented artists, and we have other authors that we'll be introducing. We won't have time for everybody to talk. She'll be the highlight and the feature, but we will introduce the other authors. We have some romance author. We have a comic book artist, but we also have painting, drawing, sculpture, everything. And so and entertainment and food, both days. And we'd really like to see everybody come out and, pack the park.
Well, I really appreciate you being here to speak about it. I'm excited about it. And thank you for the book. Wow.
She'll sign books. She'll have books and she'll be signing them. But to me, it's super exciting, especially since her dad raised his family here. They lived in Susquehanna Hills, and she graduated from Havre Grace High School. So she's coming back home to do her first book event.
Well, Cindy, thank you again. I have one favor to ask you. My executive assistant is really good about taking minutes, and I don't think I asked you for your name and address for the record, even though I know who you are.
Cindy Height, and I live in Churchville. Sorry.
It's all good. Thank you very much. That's all. Thank you so much.
The book has a 4.4 rating on Amazon.
Thank you. Yes. Well, I mean, I saw you raise your hand. You're next. Well, I mean, we can.
My name is Suzanne Falcon. I'm at 119 Gracecroft Drive.
Suzanne
Falcon.
Okay.
I
Yes.
can be the president of the Homeowners Association, unfortunately. But I'm here because we are petitioning to have the city take over our roads. We're stuck with 70,000 feet of asphalt. And Kathleen Elmore has reached out to the city attorney, and I'm just bringing it to your attention. apologize for my dress. I really didn't think I was going to show up. But that's all. I'm just requesting the consideration for taking your roads. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Have a good one.
Thanks for taking on the job as president of an HOA. I wouldn't want that job. Too much responsibility. Thank you. We're still open floor. Please raise your hand and be recognized. All right. Okay.
Council President President Kirk Smith, Otsego Street. Just a reminder, it's Harvest Moon tonight. It's full, it's beautiful, but what does that mean? You pull out all your veggies, you share them with your friends, colleagues, and people that you respect, right? But it's also planting time here in Havre de Grace. Onion sets and garlic. It's definitely garlic planting. You want to get your garlic cloves in the next 2 weekends. End of story. So loosen up that soil, get some amendments in there, add a little 3-5-4, higher on the phosphorus than nitrogen and potassium. Or if you're really desperate, 5-10-2 or something of that matter, you want to have a higher phosphorus rating. That gives you bigger bulbs, better roots, strong green from the nitrogen. Just trust me on this. If you have any questions, I think I already sent it to Councilmember Boyer, but I do have an entire sheet that I made up on how to grow huge garlic. So reach out to me and I'll send it to you too. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Thank you. Any comments from citizens before we end citizen comment? Okay. We're going to move on with our agenda, but before we do, Council President, any objection to a 5-minute recess?
No, that's fine.
All right, we have 7 items of legislation coming up. We're going to take a quick 5-minute recess, and then we'll get into the rest of the council agenda. The time is 7:58. We're going to take a recess. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to continue our October 6, 2025 council meeting. We took a brief recess. The time is now 8:08. All council members are present and accounted for. We're going to go to number 7 on this evening's agenda, which is appointments, appointment to the Street Traffic and Safety Advisory Board. Councilmember Boyer.
Mayor, I move to appoint Andrea Stokes Thomas to the Street and Traffic Advisory Board.
Second.
Stokes comes to us as advised or recommended from Vicki Jones, and she works at the Department of Commerce and has been living in Havre for 5 years, and I think she'd be a really good addition to our Street and Traffic Safety Committee. We're kind of reorganizing ourselves and reconstituting to go forward, so hopefully we can appoint her to come on board. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boyer. Any other questions or comments? Okay, this is the appointment for Ms. Andrea Stokes Thomas to the Street Traffic Safety Advisory Board. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The appointment of Ms. Thomas carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we're going to go to item 8, recognitions. This evening, we have no recognitions. Item 9, proclamations. We have no proclamations this evening. Item 10, presentations. We have no presentations. Item 11, resolutions. We have 2 resolutions this evening. And hand the first one off to the council president.
Mr. Mayor, council, citizens, I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning authorizing submission of an application for Community Development Block Grants Fund.
Second. Sorry, Mayor.
Council, I have a motion by the council president, seconded by Councilmember Boker. This is a motion to introduce a calendar resolution. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. This is a resolution by the mayor, this is going to be calendar resolution 2025-15, 2025-15. A resolution by the mayor and city council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the city charter to authorize submissions of an application for community development block grant funds. Council to have a motion to adopt resolution 2025-15.
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Jones, second by the council president. Questions or comments? Council President.
Mr. Mayor, normally I would have Ms. Bridget speak about this, but if I could have Adam or Chris just comment.
My pleasure, Council President. So this is the grant that we had the public hearing on earlier today. So as you also heard Ms. Parsons comment, it's specifically in the neighborhood of Somerset Manor. So for the community development block grants through the state of Maryland, there are very strict requirements on income ratios and percentages of people that live there. And all of the people that live in that neighborhood, since it is a HUD-funded development, it qualifies for the CDBG grant funds. So as you heard Ms. Parsons say, if you do go walking through that neighborhood, they are in dire need of some sidewalks. Not only are they in disrepair, there's some areas that the sidewalks are non-existent, and practically everywhere there is no curb cuts for ADA access to the sidewalks. So we feel it's a good opportunity to leverage some state funding in order to get some new sidewalks in a area that it's needed in the city. So this resolution will allow us to proceed with the application for those grant funds.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council President. Thank you, Dr. Ritchie. Any further questions or comments? Thank you. Roll call vote on resolution 2025-15. Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Schneges?
Yes.
Councilmember Boker?
Yes.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council calendar resolution 2025-15 is approved. Item B, Council President.
Mr. Mayor, council, citizens, I move to introduce calendar resolution concerning establishing legislative priorities and positions for the 2026 session.
Council, I have a motion by the council president. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilmember Boyer. This is a motion to introduce a resolution, a calendar resolution. Questions or comments on the introduction of this resolution? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce resolution carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be calendar resolution 2025-16, 2025-16, a resolution by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, pursuant to the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland and sections 33 and 34 of the city charter, for establishing legislative priorities and positions for the 2026 session of the Maryland General Assembly and authorizing the mayor or designee to speak and advocate for the priorities and positions established. Council, I have a motion to adopt 2025-16.
So moved.
Second.
Let Johnny have it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boyer, seconded by Councilmember Booker.
Thanks, CP.
A motion by Councilmember Boyer, seconded by Councilmember Booker. Questions or comments? Council President.
Mr. Mayor, could I solicit comments from our legislative aide?
Yes, sir.
So could you explain just a rough overview of what we're doing here?
So each year, prior to the beginning of session, which is in January, the City Council passes a resolution outlining broad policy topics it would either like to support or oppose. This doesn't lock the council into anything, and if any bills come up in session that aren't mentioned, we'll bring forward to the council. So it's just broad topics. And we'll present this to the local delegation in probably about 2 or 3 weeks before at their delegation meeting.
Outstanding, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Boyer.
So one of the items are on page 3 in regards to legislative bond initiatives, highlights the Star Center. Can you talk a little bit what the current needs are of the Star Center and what we're going to be asking for?
So over the last couple years, we've been seeking funding for the Star Center. I believe we've probably obtained close to $1 million at this point. It's really just upgrading to industry standards and ADA accessibility matters. So it's just bringing that facility up to date, essentially.
So things like the doors getting in to making those more ADA compliant.
That would be
in the
an acceptable
bathrooms.
use for those funds.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on calendar resolution 2025-16. Councilmember Shenagus. We're voting on the resolution 2025-16. This is the final roll call vote.
Yes.
Okay. Councilmember Booker.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Calendar Resolution 2025-16 is adopted. We're going to item 12, which is ordinances, and this evening we have 5 ordinances on the agenda. The first 2 will be second readers. Item A, Councilmember Ellis.
Yes, I move to introduce ordinance 1206 concerning approving budget amendment 2026-01 to carry forward fiscal year 25 capital projects in the second reading.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilmember Ellis to introduce ordinance 1206 for second reading. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by the Council President. This is a motion to introduce 1206 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce 1206 carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace by the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution. The local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, Section 37, Havre de Grace City Charter, for the purpose of amending the city budget for fiscal year 2026 to address the reallocations of funds for the city of Havre de Grace for fiscal year 2026. Council, I have a motion to adopt 1206 on second reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boker, seconded by Councilmember Boyer. Questions or comments? Yes, sir.
This amendment does not create any new spending. It simply carries over funding for unfinished fiscal year 2025 projects into the fiscal year 2026 to ensure that they are completed.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Ellis. Any other questions or comments? Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote on ordinance 1206, second reading. Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schneegis.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, ordinance 1206 is adopted on second reading. Thank you, council. Ordinance 1207, Councilmember Ellis.
Yes, I'd move to introduce ordinance 1207 concerning budget amendment 2026-02 for grant funding in the second reading.
Council, I have a motion by Councilmember Ellis. Do I have a second? Second by Councilmember Boyer. This is a motion to introduce ordinance 1207 on second reading. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce 1207 on second reading carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This is an ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace by the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, and Section 37 of the Havre de Grace City Charter for the purposes of amending the city budget for the fiscal year 2026 to address additional allocation of funds for the city of Havre de Grace for fiscal year 2026. Council, I have a motion to adopt 1207 on second reading.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Boyer, second by Councilmember Boker. Questions or comments? I'll do a roll call vote on 1207. Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Schneegis.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1207 is adopted on second reading. Item C, Council President.
Mr. Mayor, I move to introduce ordinance concerning approving lease agreement with Piedmont Properties LLC, Promenade Grill, for first reading.
Second.
Council, I have a motion by the Council President, seconded by Councilmember Schneegis. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance on first reading concerning a lease agreement. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce this ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be ordinance 1208, 1208. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, a local government article of the annotated code of Maryland, and sections 33, 34, and 76 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to approve a lease for the Promenade Grill. Council, do I have a motion to adopt 1208 on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Councilmember Boyer and a second by Councilmember Jones. Questions or comments? Council President.
So this is for the Promenade Grill, the building down in the yacht basin. It's a regular lease agreement. It does have regular increments of increases in the rent, in the lease, that is, as it goes on till, what is it here? 34. So it goes on for another 9 years. And then they'll have to come back in for a renewal of the lease. And I did have, I have it on good authority that they are going to continue to make their hush puppies with the honey-flavored butter. So I do ask for the approval.
That's in the ordinance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the ordinance, yeah.
You got to codify that sometime.
Yeah, I know.
Any other, thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer?
So I read in the lease agreement that any improvements the city would be responsible for. Are we planning any improvements?
So, no, we're not. And actually, the proprietor offered to do some improvements to the building. He did want to expand his services, but unfortunately, because of the location of it, it's in the floodplain and the critical area, and there is kind of no way to build onto that building or make additions to really do anything else that's already done there. So I don't anticipate anything coming. But yeah,
Go up.
True. That is the solution, to build it much, much taller.
Okay, great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, one more comment. I think they have the best burgers in Havre, Grace, just saying.
Okay, we're going to do a roll call vote for ordinance 1208 on first reading. Councilmember Ellis?
Yes.
Council President?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer?
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegis?
Yes.
Councilmember Boker?
That'll be a yes.
Councilmember Jones?
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative, City Council Ordinance 1208 is adopted on first reading. And Council President, can we do a public hearing at the next council meeting, October 20th, 7
Yes,
o'clock?
sir.
Okay, sounds good. Item D, Council President.
Mr. Mayor, citizens, council members, I move to introduce ordinance concerning amending Chapter 70, fees, for first reading.
Council, I have a motion by the Council President. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Councilmember Boker. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance on first reading regarding fees. Questions or comments on the introduction? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce the ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be known as Ordinance 1209. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter, to amend Chapter 70, fees, to update the general schedule of fees charged by the city for various permits, licenses, and other services thereunder. Council, to have a motion to adopt 1209 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Boker and it is seconded by the Council President. Questions or comments? Council President.
So this is for our fee schedule. We're required by law to have, or we're required by law every year to go over it and add and change new fees. There aren't that many changes. There are some significant changes in here, like for a pool and a few other things. I encourage everybody to go into the onto the city website and bring up the agenda, and you'll find the exact full fee schedule there that's proposed. But there aren't significant changes on here, but we're required by every year to do this. So thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, just real quick. So,
Boker.
great work on this. It really answered the mail. Appreciate it to the administration. Director of Planning, appreciate you looking into this as well, because it now it complements the comprehensive plan. And a lot of these are, I believe, they're pass-through charges, right? So Hartford County they have their fee, and we can't go below their fee, right? So basically, we kind of collect some of these, some particulars of this comes through us. It's just a pass-through. It goes through us. We don't add anything to it. For example, if you look at the fee schedule, the pellet stove is in there, right? So the pellet stove, of course, has been changed, right? So, that's actually, so a lot of it's been reduced. So a lot of good work's been done on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Boker. Any other further questions or comments? Council, we're going to do a roll call vote on this first reading on Ordinance 1209. Council President?
Yes.
Councilmember Boyer.
Yes.
Councilmember Shenegis.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis.
Yes.
By roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative. Ordinance 1209 is adopted on first reading, and council president,
How about the 20th?
let's have the public hearing on October 20th, right
Perfect.
after ordinance 1208.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. And our final ordinance this evening, we're going to hand this off to the council president.
Mr. Mayor, council citizens, I move to introduce ordinance concerning establishing Chapter 150 sidewalk policy for first reading.
Second.
I have a motion by the council president, second by Councilmember Shenegis. This is a motion to introduce an ordinance concerning a sidewalk policy. Questions or comments on introduction? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to introduce this ordinance carries 6-0 in the affirmative. This will be known as Ordinance 1210-1210. An ordinance by the Mayor and City Council of Havre de Grace, Maryland, adopted pursuant to the authority of Article 11E of the Maryland Constitution, the local government article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, and Sections 33 and 34 of the Havre de Grace City Charter to establish a new chapter, 150 in the City Code to be titled Sidewalk Policy, concerning the regulation of public sidewalk use within the 100 and 200 blocks of North Washington Street, providing for enforcement and penalties and for other purposes. Council have a motion to adopt 1210 on first reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the council president, seconded by Councilmember Jones.
That was Shenegis.
Questions or comments? Council president.
So this is for our beautiful downtown, 100, 200 block of Washington Street. So you guys see how nice and beautiful and wide those sidewalks are. We want people to be able to use it, but we also want the businesses to also take advantage of that. So we need to establish a policy on how far we can put tables out, how far the record store can have their stuff, whether they can block the sidewalk. The bookstore could put stuff out. Even, La Cucina could sell on the sidewalk and have cafe seating. We want that. We want it to be sort of a cafe feel downtown, a nice area to go to. But we need to establish ground rules on how far out they can go from the building. So that's what this ordinance does. So, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Council President. Any other questions or comments?
Just one, so is there going to be some type of a comprehensive drawing or a map for different businesses along these two blocks so that they actually kind of know what their statute of limitations are? Or are they going to actually have to refer to zone 1, 2, and 3 to kind of try to figure it out, and do the measurements there?
So it's for just those two blocks. There's no real zones. It's how far they can go out from the sidewalk, from
Right.
the actual curb.
Right. No, I understand, but it seems like that the facade of each building, they're all the same. They stagger all
So
down.
it's measured from the curb to the in from there. So you have to have at least what is it? What do you say? 10 foot of walking space.
The first 11 feet from the curb in belong to trees, benches, light
Pedestrians.
posts.
Yeah.
We're basically protecting a 6-foot wide citizen right of way. Everything beyond 11 feet, this ordinance enables businesses, without having to get a permit, to go ahead and set anything up, whether it's a table with something to sell, a rack of shirts, tables. And granted, some buildings will have 4 feet, some buildings have 2 feet. It depends on the makeup, but the first 11 feet from the curb in belong to the citizens, pedestrians. Then after that,
So it actually grants some relief in some cases. So it actually is in favor to the business owners. So
with this ordinance, no one will have to get special permission. It
Right.
actually grants them
Just
the right.
as long as you got a 25-foot tape measure, you go out there and measure it off and put your wares out there. No, so good work on this one.
Havre Grace is open for business.
Yeah, we're open for business, so thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilmember Boger. Councilmember Jones, were you the one who seconded that? Did I make a mistake?
No, you said Boyer, but it was Shenegis.
You seconded. Okay,
wait,
all right.
wait.
Well, actually, I have it right.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Pass me some notes. I'm joking with. I'm joking with. Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. Might be deaf. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. We're still under comment for that. Any other further comments? Okay. Roll call vote on ordinance 1210. Councilmember Boyer. Councilmember Shanegas.
Yes.
Councilmember Boker.
Yes.
Councilmember Jones.
Yes.
Councilmember Ellis.
Yes.
Council President.
Yes.
A roll call vote of 6-0 in the affirmative. City Council Ordinance 1210 is approved on first reading, and we will have the public hearing on Ordinance 1210 on October 20th. Okay. So the public hearing on 1210 will be on 10/20. Keep that straight.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Council. We're going to go to item 13, old business, and we do have an amendment to a special event application. Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. This evening, the amendment for your consideration is for the 2025 fall concerts by the Lighthouse. A couple council meetings ago, you all had approved those concerts. The Arts Commission is specifically requesting to be able to add food trucks to the event. They're not going to be closing down any roads or anything like that, but just their original application did not have food trucks, and they'd like to have them going forward. So that's what is in front of you for your consideration right now. Thank you.
Council, I have a motion to amend this application.
So moved.
A motion by the Council President and seconded by Councilmember Boyer. Questions or comments?
No, I appreciate the support from the council, Director Ricky on that one as well. We just a slight oversight with the Arts Commission, so we just want to add the food trucks in there. So really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
I was just curious as to how many they propose they might have food truck-wise.
I don't believe, or actually no, they did 3 is
Okay.
the number they're targeting.
Thank you.
And before you vote on this, the first Thursday night concert was canceled 2 weeks ago, but the last Thursday night one was very well attended. I mean, by the time I got there at 7 o'clock, I had at least over 150 people. So
Yeah, it was great.
So there will be one this Thursday night and the following Thursday night. It was just a 4-night pilot program on the Fall Festival, but it looks like it's very popular, and I think a food truck would fit just right, personally. So if council would support that, I think that'd be a good thing. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. The amended special application to allow food trucks at the fall concert series at Lighthouse carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you. Item 14, new business. Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, for your consideration. This evening, we have one special event for you. It is the Havre Grace Mother's Day Market on May 9th. It runs from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Franklin Street between Union Avenue and St. John's. Thank you.
Council, do I have a motion to approve this special event?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by the Council President. I heard, I think, seconded by Councilmember Boyer.
The bees have it.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Questions or comments?
So this is a fantastic event, and it was a lifesaver for this guy right here last year, who didn't have anything for Mother's Day, and it's not tchotchkes and things of that nature. It's very well thought out. The vendors bring very boutique niche items out there. So I'm all in favor of this. Mark your calendars. It's fast approaching on May the 9th. So it not only is it a good event, but it drew in a lot of local folks, which I thought was interesting. There's a lot of local people came down there. I don't mind the tourism, I get it, but when we can bring the locals in there too, that's always a good thing. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Boger. Any other questions or comments? Councilmember Boyer.
Just a comment, just to make sure everybody knows, the Lock House Beer and Wine Festival is from 11 to 5 that day as well. But, you know, here in Havre de Grace, we can chew gum and walk at the same time. So I think everything helps each other. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Havre de Grace Mother's Day Market, May 9th, 2026, carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Thank you very much. That concludes our legislative agenda for this evening. We're going to go to item 15, Director's Reports. Dr. Ritchie.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, colleagues, citizens. So this past Friday, it ended a very busy and very successful First Friday season. And while she is not here, I still would like to offer congratulations to the Director of Economic Development and Tourism, Ms. Bridget Johnson, and her team. There's a whole lot of hard work that goes into this, not just paid staff, but also volunteers. And they do a fantastic job with that. So just congratulations on a great First Friday season. On October 10th and 11th at 8 p.m., Rogue Swan presents Something Wicked, a night of mischief, magic, and mayhem at the Star Center. Importantly, the October 10th showing is a pay-what-you-can night. So it means that you only have to pay what you can afford for a general admission ticket to the show. The Susquehanna Symphony begins its 49th season by returning to Havre de Grace, and they're going to be performing on October 12th at 3 p.m. at the Star Center. And then one of my favorite reoccurring events that we have, Evil Dead the Musical, is returning to the Star Center with shows on October 17th, 18th, 24th, and 25th. And you can purchase tickets to these and our other Star Center events at starcentermd.com. At the Opera House, the Scottfield Theater Company is performing Meet Me in St. Louis on multiple dates running from October 10th through the 19th. And you can purchase tickets to that show and all the other Opera House shows at hdgoperahouse.org. Oktoberfest is this Saturday, the 11th, from noon to 7 p.m. at Concord Point Park. And there will be food trucks, beer, wine, music, merchandise, and a very large kids zone with plenty of activities for the children. So while it is an event that highlights German beer and food, it is also a very family-friendly event. So please feel free to bring your children out to that. As you heard earlier today, the 62nd Annual Havre de Grace Art Show is going to be on October 18th and 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at both Tidings Park and Concord Point Park. And you can get information on all those events, but also all the other wonderful events that are happening in the city of Havre de Grace that I did not mention tonight. You can get information on those at the Explore Havre de Grace website. It's explorehavredegrace.com. And I did want to just piggyback on the event application that we amended this evening. As the mayor said, the first concert at Concord Point Park that we had was very well attended. The band was excellent. Congratulations to the Arts Commission for their work on that. And the next 2 Thursday evenings, there will be concerts at the park as well. So it's free. Hope everybody can come out and join us for that. And then lastly, I did want to thank the City Council for passing Calendar Resolution 2025-15. It allows the administration to move forward with applying for that CDBG grant, which, if approved, will provide some much-needed sidewalks to some people in our community that could really use them. And I would also like to thank Ms. Wanda Boker, she writes grants for the city. She's been working on this grant for us as well, but she's also been very helpful in working on some other very important grants that the administration is pursuing. So just thank you, Wanda, for all your help with what we're doing here. And that concludes my comments for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ritchie. Appreciate the update. We're going to go to Mr. Goins, our Director of Planning. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. So it was another busy month in the Department of Planning, where we had 75 permits that were applied for during the month. 35 of those were new construction, 1 single-family detached home in Bully Rock, 3 in Silent Hill, and then 5 townhomes in Greenway Farms, and then 26 condos in Bully Rock. We had 7 renovations and additions, and then 33 other permits, which are sheds, fences, pools, solar panels, and other minor permits. And so for the first quarter of the fiscal year, we have a total of 64 new construction permits, and that is 21 increase over last year, and then about just a one permit over fiscal year 2024. And then in terms of our boards, we have no items on the Board of Appeals for this month. So that meeting has been canceled. And then we have 3 items on the Planning Commission for October 16th. 2 are site plan extensions, one for the Decoy Museum, one for Popeyes. And we have a new site plan for conversion of a residence to an office on Lewis Street. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you very much, Mr. Goins. Anybody have a question for Director of Planning? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Our Director of Economic Development and Tourism is at a conference this week. So we're going to go to Mr. Abdi, our Director of Finance. Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Council members, also good evening, and as well as citizens of Havre de Grace. Before I get started, I want to thank you for approving Ordinance 1206 and 1207, showing the city in terms of sound stewardship of city funds. Onto the financial condition of our 3 funds. This is the first reports for fiscal 26 in terms of the condition of the 3 funds. Starting off with the general fund, the beginning balance currently stands at $2,775,800. Revenues to date for fiscal 26 is $13,800,600. Expenditures currently stands at $6,303,300. The fund balance currently stands at $10,283,100. Onto the water and sewer fund, the beginning balance currently stands at $4,703,500. Expenditures to date currently stands at $2,499,000. In terms of the revenue side, revenues to date currently stands at $4,111,500. Finally, the Marina Fund, the fund balance currently stands at $890,200. The beginning balance currently stands, bless you, currently stands at $946,700. Revenues to date, $162,600. Expenditures to date currently stands at $219,100. That currently concludes my financial condition for the 3 funds. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, sir. Does anybody have a question for the Director of Finance? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Mr. Conway, good evening, Director of Public Works.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council, colleagues, and guests. Just want to give 2 shout-outs to our water treatment plant and our wastewater treatment plant. We received last month 2 awards, one for each. So the first for the water treatment plant, the Havre de Grace Water Plant has been recognized with a bronze award from the Maryland Department of the Environment's Area-Wide Optimization Program, also known as AWOP, for 2024. AWOP is a program established by the EPA and administered by MDE, which recognizes public water systems that achieve high-quality drinking water by consistently exceeding regulatory standards. The Bronze Award specifically recognizes systems that meet the combined filter effluent turbidity optimization goal. This achievement reflects the hard work and dedication of our water treatment plant operators. And the second we received last month from MDE was for the wastewater treatment plant, and the letter says, "Dear Mr. Conaway, on August 27th, 2025, the Maryland Board of Public Works approved a grant in the amount of $97,438 towards costs associated with the Havre de Grace wastewater treatment plant's enhanced nutrient removal operator maintenance activities. Based upon the 2024 ENR performances, Havre de Grace wastewater treatment plant has achieved performance optimization and subsequently qualifies for the grant." And we are supposed to receive that on or about the 1st of December. And last but not least, just to remind everybody in Havre de Grace that on or about October 24th, the 300 block of Congress Avenue will become one way from Market Street to Union Avenue. And that concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Conway. Appreciate the update. Any questions for Director of Public Works? Okay, thank you very much. Chief, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, citizens. I just wanted to share something that the new law took effect on October the 1st. It's Eric's ID law. And so what this does is that Marylanders can now, they can add a symbol or an image of a butterfly on their driver's license, their ID card, et cetera. And the butterfly indicates that an individual has a hidden disability. And Eric and his mom actually presented at the Maryland Chiefs, and he was a very impressive young man. And the example that they gave was autism. So that's not something that would, that presents itself automatically as a disability. And so it's intended to help us as first responders and law enforcement to understand an individual's needs. A hidden disability may not immediately be noticeable, but may affect their ability to communicate, their mobility, or their behavior with law enforcement or others. So this symbol is a voluntary program, and so if any of our citizens, you don't have to provide any proof. It's something that it's voluntary, and you can have it added onto your driver's license. So anyway, that's what all I wanted to share, and thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the update, Chief. Any questions for Chief Crass? Thank you very much, sir. And okay, we're going to go to comments from council members. Start off with Councilmember Schnegas.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Administration, and citizens in the audience and at home. I just want to wish you all a very happy start to the fall season. I know the weather's changing, but we're getting some beautiful days. So enjoy every moment. If you're not sure how to spend your afternoons, evenings, time away from home, out in the community, go to explorehavredegrace.com. There are many, many opportunities to get involved in the theater, the arts, shopping, events, and just find the right way to spend time with your family and your friends in the community. So that's all I have to say this evening. I wish you all a wonderful night, and take a look at that beautiful full moon that's out tonight. Thank you. Back to you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Schnegas. And good evening, Councilmember Boger.
Hey, good evening, Mayor, citizens who are still with us today, out there in the seats, and those who are watching online, colleagues, assiduous directors. So the 27th of September was the Extreme Boat Docking Competition produced by Havre Grace in Bloom, the nonprofit organization. That was an all-day event, of course, and then in the afternoon was the lighted boat parade. We almost got rained out, but this is not Havre to cancel. We kept on going out there, and I'll tell you now, if Alan Farrer can be out there with an umbrella and a clipboard and a light on his forehead, we're gonna make it happen. And he went out there, and we judged it. And I tell you, the Arts Commission is doing some crazy stuff. We don't quit. So that was good to go. First Friday was better than expected. Good to see some of the council and mayor up there on the stage for the, I guess it was anniversary or the I didn't get that memo.
Yeah, Adele's Bridal 10 years.
There you go, Adele's Bridal. But great music from local artists. So that was good. Want to thank the DPW who are out there in full effect, taking care of streets, trash, litter pickup. Not only that, but actually just kind of help and maintain order. The police department always appreciate that. And then I won't steal anyone's thunder, but I will tell you that mark your calendar for October the 25th. There's going to be some activities downtown. I won't take the mayor's thunder on this one here, but I will tell you October 25th from 12:30 to 5, the downtown 100 and 200 block of Washington, there's going to be some great events going on down there. And I'll go ahead and wrap up. I don't have any actual business tonight. No motions or anything for anyone under business, but I do want to thank the Susquehanna Hose Company, the police, our police, our DPW, and our first responders, and our EMS. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Boker. Appreciate the update. And we're going to go to Councilmember Ellis. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, everybody here with us and at home. I wanted to touch base on something that was mentioned earlier, the skateboard project. The grant, I believe we should find out about the grant by the 1st of November is the last I heard. So as soon as we know, everybody else will know. I want to touch on one more thing. On October 15th, the sign-ups and registrations for the Havre de Grace Community Project's Thanksgiving Day event will open to sign up to get the meals and to volunteer. We're looking to give out about 1,200 meals again this year, and I just looked on the site. Last year we had over 250 people volunteer. It's all day, couple days. You can volunteer to do several different things: help cook, prepare the meals, package the meals, deliver the meals, clean up, etc. I will say for the last 2 years, I've cleaned up, and it's very sparse with the help. So if anybody wants to stay late, I'll be there. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Ellis. And good evening, Councilmember Jones.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Directors, citizens at home, citizens in the audience. I also wanted to congratulate Bridget Johnson and her team, DPW Chief, and everyone else who's been involved with the First Fridays this summer. I mean, I think every year they're better and better and more well-attended. And so really, I think that the year ended off, or the summer ended off on a high note. There also on October 25th is a civil rights tour. I mention this because one of the major stops is in Havre de Grace. If you don't know, Harford County has a rich civil rights history. So for about half of the tour, it will actually be in Havre de Grace. And if you want more information on that, you can go to Explore Havre de Grace. And lastly, if you didn't see them tonight, we had some little girls here who are from Girl Scout Troop 2156, and I want to thank their troop leader, Mecca Shakur, for bringing the girls, and I hope that we were able to inspire some of them to run for office. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councilmember Jones. Councilmember Boyer.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We have an EDAB meeting coming up on the 15th of October at 4 p.m. We had a really productive street and traffic safety meeting, advisory board meeting on the 22nd. I want to thank you all for approving Ms. Stokes for it. There's a lot of things happening with it. This last time that we had Amtrak come to do a presentation, and it was very interesting what they were able to tell us. They very much want to get our feedback and concepts on things. I would think that we might need to make a couple of changes in regards to our food trucks and where food trucks can be placed when they have when they are doing work on site. They were saying there could be upwards of 200 people here on site doing work at any particular time, and of course needing to eat and having food somewhere close would be something that they were talking about, as well as talking about like where they're going to be staying, how they're going to be parking. It sounded like they are going to be shuttling them in, etc. So please keep the Amtrak efforts in your, like in the back of your heads. Probably, they said they'll be starting actual work within the next year to 18 months. And it should be interesting. One of the things that we had prolonged discussion about was in regards to Lewis Lane and whether or not they'd be replacing that bridge. They're trying really hard to not have to replace that bridge. So more to come on that. They also said that of the two tunnels that we have one on Freedom and the other on Centennial. Freedom will be closed, but Centennial won't be, and that was another change that's occurred. So good information there. Street and traffic safety is also changing our meeting dates. We have a lot of conflicts, it seems, when we have them on the fourth Monday. So we're going to be moving them to the fourth Tuesday. And hopefully that'll be a little bit better, especially when it comes to budget time. And I want to let everybody know that St. John's is having Miss Amy Rosenkrantz for the second part of her series on bookies, bootleggers, and the Raw. It'll be held at St. John's on, I didn't write that down, wait, on the 14th of October at 6:30. And the series is called Beyond the Obvious. They have lots of speakers that come in every month. There was a large attendance for the last one. Very interesting information. If you're interested in just hearing some of the stories, some of the lore, it's definitely worth going to. Again, it's at 6:30 on the 14th of October. And I want to do kudos as well in regards to our First Fridays. It's something that we clearly we're known for, and our city staff do an amazing job preparing for it. I especially want to call out our police department and what our police officers have done in order to keep the peace and keep everybody safe, and to do it in a respectful way that makes it so that students especially know that they are welcome, but there's an expectation of how their behavior will be. And I think it's really, what you guys have done has been great, and it has made a huge difference in the past couple of ones. So I really want to thank you for everything you did. And L'Oreal, you're amazing, so keep at it. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Boyer. Council President.
Mr. Mayor, council, citizens, it's good to see so many people here at this late hour. We don't normally have a lot of people in the audience at the end. Just a few short things. I want to give a shout out to the girls soccer who had their senior night tonight. Congratulations to them on a long and storied career. And football, they'll have their senior night this coming Friday at 7 p.m. against Aberdeen. We did not fare so well against Edgewood. We actually held our own, which a lot of teams in the county didn't. But, it came down to the end, I guess. But we'll see what happens against Aberdeen. This past Saturday, I worked on an Eagle Scout project over on the Clark Road Trail, which is part of the Lower Susquehanna Heritage Greenway. So we've done improvements to the entire portion of the Havre section of that trail. Probably need to go into because we broke it into two groups, two different Eagle projects, both Tim Duff and then Ben Duff, the first one, Tim Duff, the second portion. We probably need to relay some more mulch, but I really want to thank DPW for helping us with the mulch. It was about 20 yards. Give or take, and anybody knows how big a yard of mulch is? Gosh, we had 20 yards of mulch, and it was just piled up, and luckily we were able to use four-wheelers. We had two four-wheelers that Scoutmasters ran with trailers, and I put 36 miles on my four-wheeler because I measured it, just back and forth hauling mulch, and we had about 8 boys digging and shoveling and everything, and a couple adults, and we finished all the way up past the bridge, actually up to the pond, which is on the actually on the Swan Harbor portion. And we have another scout who's looking at doing the Swan Harbor portion, finishing up. So that's a fully improved trail. And if you guys get out there and check it out, it's a hidden gem in Havre de Grace. It's beautiful. Lots of wildlife, and you get some wetland back there and everything. And it's an old farmstead back in that portion, so there are some old fences, and it's pretty cool. Another scout from Rising Sun put some benches along there. So there's plenty of place to sit and everything and check it out. But the bridge that got the grant for and everything, I guess DPW helped install, it's amazing. It's really cool. I was worried about the wetlands there, about doing this project, because I was worried the bridge wasn't going to be wide enough for my four-wheeler, but I had about 1.5 feet on either side. And it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a long day, and I'm still a little bit sore from riding a four-wheeler all that long, but I just want to thank DPW especially for everything and all the support you've given us. So with that, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Council President. Appreciate the comments. We're going to move to comments from the mayor. It's October, and you're going to start seeing a lot of fall decorations come downtown. Today, DPW put up some corn stalks and hay bales. They look really, really good. And we'll get some pumpkins and things like that downtown. So everyone that comes to visit our beautiful city or who lives here, knows that the city of Havre de Grace is all about the fall. So we have an Oktoberfest coming up this weekend. Hopefully the weather will be good for it. That's down at the Lighthouse. The following weekend is a 2-day art show, which is always a great time. And the weekend after that, I bet nobody knows what the weekend after that is, do they? October 25th. It is the official Washington Street Restoration Project street dedication.
What day
Finally,
was that, Mayor?
the last Saturday of the month. So anyway, I don't know if you guys have noticed or not, but we redid the 2 blocks of downtown. And we got to have some kind of a street dedication. I mean, just can't just open it quietly. So 12:30 on Saturday, October 25th, we're just going to do a real quick little dedication where we thank everyone involved. You know, we thank, you know, the construction crews. I thank Patrick Seipolt, you know, my project leader. Most importantly, thank a lot of the businesses who somehow survived that construction mess for all that time. But at 1 o'clock, we're going to have a beautiful, amazing, we're going to shut down the 2 blocks. We're going to have a really nice fall festival. And I told Lori Orzwitz, my tourism manager, I said, invite your best vendors you've ever had for any event we've ever done. An invitation by the mayor, just come, be our guest. The best food trucks, the best vendors, the best children's games. It's going, and we have a lot of farmers from the farmers market that are going to come and set up too. It's going to be a fall festival in those 2 blocks. It's a celebration to our citizens, you know, to enjoy the beautiful blocks, you know, a couple blocks on Washington Street that we so long been waiting for completion. So just want to kind of put that on everyone's calendar, something to do every Saturday here in the city of Havre de Grace. And hopefully the weather will be good for all of that. And I mentioned earlier, I'm just going to mention it one more time, we all love the concerts in the park that take place in June and July that the Arts Commission holds. Everyone loves that. Everyone goes to the gazebo and you know, brings a chair and a cup of tea and sits there and they watch the concert. But we all thought the Arts Commission was thinking, hey, why don't we do a little fall festival one? So we moved it down to the Lighthouse. And it was supposed to be 4 Thursdays in a row, starting with the 25th, but the 25th got rained out. So we did it last Thursday. That was great. And it's going to be this Thursday coming up and the Thursday after that. So please, if you, and it starts at 6:30. We start a little bit earlier because it gets dark earlier in October from 6:30 to 8. Don't ask me what the band is. I can't tell you. But if you go to the city website, Explore Havre de Grace, the last band was amazing. So we're going to start that up, and if it works good, then you know, then we have a June, July concert, free concert in the park at the gazebo at Tidings Park, and then in the fall we can do a fall series down at the Lighthouse. Because in the fall you don't need a shade of the trees necessarily. So okay, so that's that. And I want to mention, I want to bring something up, and this is very important for the record here. A couple weeks ago, there's a above the fold headline in the Aegis about an intersection on Route 40 that borders a Havre de Grace city community called Greenway Farms. And if you know what I'm talking about, it's the, you know, you make the right on the Greenway Farms and you go over that bridge into the community of Greenway Farms. Well, there's been some, yeah, there's been some accidents there. It's a high volume traffic area in that district. And I wanted to address some of the issues. But Chief, I know we were talking about it, and do you have some statistics on accidents and reported calls in that area?
Yes, sir. So we did some checking. This is on the state portal, and we have records of it, but the issue comes is that there's multiple jurisdictions that have handled accidents at the Route 40 intersections from Blenheim all the way to Otsego. So we looked at those from 2019 to present. And so the intersection of 40 and Martha Lewis was not our worst intersection. Actually, our worst intersection is 40 and Post Road or Revolution Street. That had 32% of the accidents. 25% were at 40 in Lewis Lane, 17% were at 40 in Otsego, and then 40 in Blenheim had 14%, and then 11% of our accidents were at 40 in Martha Lewis Boulevard.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate you throwing those numbers out there just for some clarity. all of Route 40 and Havre de Grace, you really need to be careful. We definitely have accidents. But this article in the paper made it sound like it's the most dangerous intersection in Maryland, and that the city of Havre de Grace was being very obtuse towards the needs of that community. And so there's some things I want to say real quick for clarity, and I'm going to read this into the record, so please bear with me here. To understand that Greenway Farms got approved back in 2004, it's been a 3-phase construction project, and almost as soon as it got approved, that's when the economy took a tank. I mean, they only built like one phase out. And so it's been 20 years building, more than 20 years building this development. Now, understanding the legal foundation and framework, you got complete local approval. Completed local approval. The approval for Greenway Farms Phases 2 and 3 was finalized in August of 2020 by the Planning Commission. It is crucial to remember that this commission operates as an independent quasi-judicial body, meaning its decisions are legally binding, much like a court's, and cannot be unilaterally overturned by the mayor or city council. Since the State Highway Administration did not require a signal installation as part of their review at the time, this condition was not made part of the final approval. Since the statutory 30-day appeal period for this 2020 decision expired without challenge, the city is obligated to adhere to its final legal approvals. Any attempted to halt construction permits now, as recently requested by the State Highway Administration, could be viewed as arbitrary reversal could be seen as an arbitrary reversal of a vested property right. This action would violate established land use law and directly expose the city and its citizens to significant costly legal liability from the developer, potentially involving years of litigation. Now, who's got jurisdiction? Route 40 is state territory. It is critical to note that US 40 is a state highway, and NDOT, State Highway Administration, SHA, holds exclusive jurisdiction over all aspects of its operation, maintenance, and design. This exclusive authority encompasses traffic control, meaning the funding, design, timing, and eventual installation of any traffic signals must be initiated and executed solely by State Highway Administration engineers. The city is prohibited from unilaterally installing or prioritizing funding for improvements on state property. The initial approvals for this development were consistent with both the 2004 and 2020 engineering findings. The decision to install a traffic signal is not discretionary. It is a rigorous, data-driven, guided by national engineering standards laid out in the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, MUTCD. These studies confirmed that the projected traffic volumes from Greenway Farms would not meet the minimum numerical thresholds which account for peak hour traffic, accident history, and pedestrian volumes required for a signal installation at the time of the project's approval. The State Highway Administration recently has taken some safety action. We recognize and appreciate the State Highway Administration's recent efforts to address immediate safety concerns by implementing the right-in, right-out configuration that has just been put there recently. This action underscores their operational control and responsibility of that roadway. Our commitment to collaboration. The city firmly believes that the only viable solution lies in a unified regional approach. The city is committed to addressing local concerns, but it's essential to recognize that the congestion on Route 40 is being compounded by regional developments approved directly by the State Highway Administration and neighboring Aberdeen and Cecil County. A truly comprehensive solution must account for this entire corridor, not just one intersection in Havre de Grace. We call for a joint study and prioritization. We are actively requesting a constructive discussion with the State Highway Administration and Harford County to launch a comprehensive review and traffic signal prioritizing the study for all Route 40 intersections within city limits. The city is prepared to contribute local data and collaborate fully. However, this joint study is the necessary first step that must be completed by the State Highway Administration to formally justify and allocate the required state funding, design, capacity, and resources for any long-term capital improvement projects. I'm respectfully requesting any citizen feedback on the current write-in, write-out configuration or questions regarding future signal prioritization and the allocation of state funding should be directed to MDOT State Highway Administration. Furthermore, contacting their local Maryland General Assembly representatives is the most effective means of advocating for the state budget and project prioritization necessary to address safety concerns on this critical roadway. There's been a lot of blame. It's a handful of people from Greenway Farms. And look, every citizen has a right to view something as a hazard for themselves, for their family, for their children. And they went to State Highway. State Highway said, we're not putting a light there. And then some people started playing politics. And some people started blaming the city. The city is not in the business of building street traffic lights. None of the street traffic lights you see in Havre Grace belong to the city. The one at Otsego and Juniata, that's a state road. The one on Congress and Union, that's a state road. The ones on Revolution are a state road. The city doesn't build traffic lights. We wouldn't be putting one on Route 40 anyway. When Greenway Farms was approved, it was approved for 690 units. The argument that people are using that we are overbuilding Greenway Farms is false. At the end of the day, we'll probably just be right around the 570 mark. We're underbuilding Greenway Farms by over 100 homes. We're not overbuilding Greenway Farms. It's just the whole area has become more congested. And State Highway Administration needs to stop playing politics, stop blaming City Havre Grace, stop telling us to stop issuing building permits, which we can't do. It's our sovereign right to do that anyway. And they need to fund a traffic light or figure out what they want to do. They put a right in, right out, right there already. They said they're not going to put a traffic light in there because it doesn't warrant it. But I'm telling people at Greenway Farms, the City of Havre Grace has no problem advocating for something at an intersection to make it safer. I'm proposing, my administration is going to try to draft a resolution that I hope the council will consider next week that at least advocates for a signal or some advocate to Hartford County to be on their priority list for a signal for Route 40. So, you know, we're fine with advocating, but again, the article made it sound like the City of Havre Grace was obtuse and we didn't have the money and we didn't want to spend the money. Well, that's close to $1 million. But that's not our road. I don't know how to tell, I mean, it's about as clear as I can say that. I mean, the State Highway Administration, we're talking about a government entity of billions of dollars. You know, we operate with less than $20 million a year. So I wanted to go on record in case anybody out there was reading that article that thought for 1 second the City of Havre Grace doesn't care about the lives and safety of its citizens. We do, 110%, and we will advocate. But the blame game that's going around that Havre Grace doesn't care about an intersection, that time's done. State Highway said when we started in 2004, you don't need a traffic light. In 2020, said you don't need a traffic light. And as I said, we're underbuilding the development. We're not overbuilding it. And we're not in the traffic light business. So we will be advocating to help make it better every way we can. I appreciate the chief bringing up the data. The intersection is not ideal. There's been a lot of accidents right there, but we have accidents at all of our Route 40 intersections. And it'd be really good if the state could help us with all these intersections, especially the one on Ohio Street, you know, where the Pizza Hut is and the Royal Farms. That one's a infamous cluster. So again, I wanted to go on the record. I appreciate everybody's patience, but it got to the point where the blame game has been going to the point where it's somehow made the top fold of a front page of a newspaper. And so enough's enough. You know, I mean, it's just, I had to go out there. We have to say it. I'll say it again if anybody questions it. The City of Havre Grace cares about public safety, and we will be advocating to fix that problem. But I don't want any citizens to go to bed at night thinking that we would rather spend money on pumpkins and hay bales than fix an intersection, because that's not the case here. Okay, so thank you very much for your time. With that said, we got to go in closed session, don't we, Council President? All right, Council President.
I think obtuse is the vocabulary word for today. Under the Open Meetings Act, General Provision, Article 3-305, I move to go into closed session upon adjournment of the open session on Monday, October 6, 2025, to consider the following matter. 1, to discuss a personnel matter. This meeting will be closed under General Provisions, Article Section 3-305B1, to discuss the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of employees, appointees, employees, or officials over whom this body has jurisdiction. Any other personnel matters that affect one or more specific individuals. The reason for closing this meeting is discussions concerning personnel matters are entitled to confidentiality. The city will not resume open session after the closed session, and votes, if any, will be recorded in public at the council meeting on October 20th, 2025. And that is my motion, Mr. Mayor.
Council, I have a motion by the council president. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Booker. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion to go into closed session at the conclusion of this meeting carries 6-0 in the affirmative. Council, I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Booker, second by Councilmember Jones. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion to adjourn carries 6-0 in the affirmative. The time is now 9:19. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you October 20th. Have a good evening and be safe.